Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all doing well. I really gotta stop making videos that have really calm music in it. And okay, today I'll just spill the tea, girl. I am dying today, okay? If the girls know, I am dying. I get very sick. And when I mean sick, I mean I get sick. And I don't want to get into detail, but I am curled up in my shawl. I am very nice and I'm very warm. And I have some hot chocolate. It's cold outside. And I was just building this for the past 3 days. And I was editing it tonight and I'm sitting here falling asleep as I'm editing because the music is just it's so calm. It's so nice. And I'm just am I falling asleep because the music is nice, or am I falling asleep because my build is just really boring? I have no idea, but I'm just I'm just dead. I'm dead, girl, but I'm still alive, but I'm barely breathing. But how are you guys? How are you guys doing? Are you guys getting any snow at all? Cause I've gotten some snow. It's snowing currently outside right now, and actually my newest snowy build that I did before this is actually doing really great. So if you guys haven't checked that out and you guys want to go see what the heck I'm talking about, it will be somewhere linked in the description down below, or it will be at the very end card of the actual the build itself. But I just wanted to build something snowy again because it's still snowing and I work in retail and all I see is Christmas trees and decorations and kids crying when they're sitting on Santa's lap. It's great, And I found out that my store was doing a photo shoot with Santa Claus for I was gonna say Halloween. Girl, we're way past that. It's Christmas. But there's a whole thing where you can bring your dog and take pictures with Santa Claus, and I think it's so cute. I'm I guess it wouldn't work if you had a dog that wasn't good with dogs. My dog, for example, I have 3. I have 2 little, I wouldn't say little, the boys are big. We only have male dogs. At my mom's, they have a boxer and then a poodle mix boxer. Their names are Manny and Tucker. And then the ones, because I live at my father's, I have a shepherd named Togo. And Togo is a big boy and he loves people. But we are still trying to get him a little bit friendlier with dogs. And last night, you know how I told y'all that it's been snowing? So I was at work and my dad was taking Togo for a walk and he was just walking around the block. And he usually does it later at night, so it's dark. And, there's not really much that goes on where I live, so there's really no need to be worried about anything. The only thing that you gotta worry about is the dogs that live on our block, because there are so many dog owners on the street. I swear to God, every other house you'll find a dog. And it's such a pain trying to walk Togo because he is 100 and 9 pounds, 10 pounds, 13, I can't remember. He's a king shepherd, so he's a big boy. And with all that weight, it is very hard to walk him if he sees something. And when I mean see something, I mean dog. And when Togo sees a dog, he will book it. So like I was saying, my dad was walking Togo last night and there's dogs all around, and my dad walked past this one house and it has a lot of trees in the backyard, so you can't really see much, but Togo definitely saw and smelt and heard, because all of a sudden as my dad is walking him, and my dad is he's not a small guy, he's a big man, he can hold the dog. But when Togo saw the dogs, there was 2 dogs that lived, these 2 little tiny little dogs they lived at that house that my dad walked past, and unfortunately they were outside, and it is snowy, it is wet, it is very like slush and ditches and all that stuff. And Togo sees the dogs and he runs and he books it and pulls my father right straight into the ditch, and his boots fell right off. His feet were soaked in the snow, like up to his ankles. Not even, sorry, it was like his shins, like where the kneecaps are, like and my poor dad just got like pulled by our dog. I'm like, oh my gosh. And my dad was so mad at him. And Togo he knew he did something wrong, because Togo did that to me during the summertime. I was walking him, and the people that live across from us have a dog that comes over like here and there. And I was walking Togo, and I didn't even see the dog at first. And the dog was outside with the owners. And I saw it, and I noticed, obviously, Togo started like pulling, and I'm not heavy, so like I'm pulling him as hard as I can, and Togo is just like, he's walking, but he's walking with that like intention. You know what I mean? Like, you know when a dog sees another dog and they're like, hey, like so he starts walking over to the dog, and he starts like, his tail starts spiking up, and the other dog's just staring at him. Now this dog is like a medium-sized dog. It's a good, like, fair-sized dog. So Togo was obviously like, who are you? And the dog runs the other way. Now Togo at this point hasn't run, like, he hasn't ran at all. He hasn't run from me, nothing. As soon as that... I really need to turn this phone off when I'm recording. You know what? I'm going to keep that in the video. Who loves a minion? But as I was walking Togo, this dog ran, booked for it. Togo hadn't moved at this point. As soon as that dog lifted his leg to go the other way, Togo was gone. Now, he pulled me to the ground. Now, there was no snow. There was no slush, there was no grass that would break my fall. It was just pure pavement, and it hurt. And thank God the owner on the other side like ran after Togo and like, because he had his leash on. But oh my gosh, I was so mad at him. I was so mad. And it was so funny too, because Togo has been getting so much better at walking. When I first got him too, like when my family got him after my other previous shepherd passed away, he didn't want to leave my father's side, and he didn't like me. And I didn't like him because he didn't like me, and also it was too quick. Like it was so soon right after my other dog passed away. So I was like, I don't like you. Obviously, now it's changed. I love him, and he loves me, I think. But when I first got him, my dad was like, well, why don't you go walk Togo so that you two can kind of like bond together? And I was like, fine. So I go and take Togo, and he, at this point, didn't want to be 10 feet away from my father. So he was whining, and like our lawn is big. Like we have an acre backyard. And so as I'm trying to pull him to the backyard all the way to the very end, the entire time we're walking, he's like trying to get away from me. He's trying to pull away from me. He's whining, and he just wants to be with my dad. So he knows that the block connects to go around to the house. So as I'm walking Togo, he's pulling me. Like I couldn't even stop. He was pulling me so hard because he knows that if he gets around the block quick enough, it will be that much faster to go see dad. So he's just a little bugger. But you know, he's very protective of my dad. Even now, it's been over a year, and he still gets really mad when my stepmom goes near my dad. And he's a little bit better with me, because I spend a lot of time with him. But even tonight, he'll whine a little bit, and he'll come over with his like toy and wag his tail. Like it's like an excuse for him to come over. Like he'll bring he'll bring his toy thinking like, look, I have my toy, play with me. But in reality, he's like, what are you doing there, Dad? What are you doing? Like, don't hurt him. I'm watching you. So you'd think by now he would know. But he isn't too bad with me, but with my stepmom, he doesn't like it. But yeah, everyone on our street has a dog, and it was so sad because my neighbors, which is a really crazy story, they used to live 3 doors down from me at my mom's old house, but now they live 3 doors down from me from my dad's house. So what are the odds? But I'll make it brief, but I don't want to get into too much detail because it is a little bit sad. Don't worry, it's nothing like crazy, but it is pretty much like, what the heck. So my neighbors were walking their dog. You can skip this if you want. My neighbors were walking their dog about 2-ish years, or I think a year ago, during the winter, and they have 2 little wiener dogs, and they didn't have the dogs on a leash, and one of them ran away as they were walking. And this is in the middle of dead winter, and this is a small little wiener dog. I don't know how on earth they lost it. And apparently they had a tracker on it, but they only decided to look for 1 hour, and that was it. And nobody's seen the dog since. Are you kidding me? Like, are you insane? What is wrong with people? And now they have a new dog too. So it's so sad. And even I see them walking and they still don't have their leashes on. I saved their dogs because their dogs would always get out for some reason. I don't know how. But just like 2 weeks ago, like I was talking about the other dogs that was behind my house on the road, and I brought them back to their house. Those 2 dogs, those 2 wiener dogs, were out behind my house too. So it's just like I looked out my window and I saw 2 little wiener dogs, and I was like, what? That's not right. That's not where you're supposed to be. So I took them back to the house at that time, but now it's just like, I have no respect for them. I feel so sad, and like, that poor dog, I hope it found a house. I hope it found a home, because it was in the dead of winter, and I hope it's okay. And I'm sure it is. There's a lot of people that live around there, so I'm sure someone picked it up. But yeah, please make sure in the wintertime that you guys are making sure that you are taking care of your animals, and making sure your 4-legged creatures are safe. Your birds, your lizards, your insects, whatever you got, girl. Please make sure to make sure that you keep your animals safe, because they are family members, and we want to treat them like family members because they are, and making sure that they're not getting lost. But I really do hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did like this video, we're almost at 5K. Oh my god, so thank you so much. Maybe please consider commenting and subscribing, and I will see you all later. Bye guys.